You don't eat where you poo. And we're pooing and we're drinking. Foolishness.
Our water, it's horrible.
We have water that's not being appropriately filtered right now. That's not okay.
Do you think that the Otter Creek water is safe?
Nope.
The bill hasn't been paid because Russ The Suss has not given the accounts over to the new mayor. Under the new administration and leadership of Otter Creek Town Hall, we've been invited to go on a tour of the water plant. Since you were locked out, would you be willing to let the residents in? If you were to schedule a time for the residents to see what all of this looks like? Water, one of the biggest things we need for life, and we're finally gonna have open access to see what we're getting here in Otter Creek. Don didn't show up, but Don's dog did, here on the steps of Town Hall.
Oh.
Think we got a dog problem? We definitely have a dog problem.
There's dogs running around loose. They're just running around attacking people.
This is number 3 and 4 chasing us, just to come to the water plant, which now we're here. All right, go home, guys. Go home. Come on. Here we go. The water plant. The water plant. I'm concerned because Don had all kinds of questions yesterday about the water treatment plant, and we gave him, it's like 9:10 already, and it didn't show. It didn't show for the tour, which blows my mind. If you have all those questions and the answers are going to be shared with you, why wouldn't you show?
To know that the assessment is done by a competent person.
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't see any report.
We're calling, the man's coming this week in touch with us to look at it and give us an assessment.
Yeah,
But
he has to
in
come
the
out.
meantime, we've turned it off, took it offline so it doesn't blow itself up.
Don, I can guarantee you that everything here will be transparent and you will get reports when things are done, but we can't.
After the fact.
Hold on, Don, don't interrupt me, please. I'm not interrupting you. When they are done, you will get them, but we can't have them before he comes out. I'm not hiding anything from
I
anybody.
did not see you all right.
And here we go. The water plant. I've never seen any of this before. Okay, here we go. This is this is something.
That stuff goes in the water and when it sits stagnant for.
Wait, what is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That, when it sits still in the pipeline or in a water heater or in storage, it's still. When it sits still, it just, this odor starts coming from it. And, but they say it's safe for consumption.
For consumption.
Is there a piece missing from the pipe?
This field trip has already answered one of my biggest questions. Why does my water stink all the time? Now, I spent over $25,000 getting the cleanest, freshest water that I thought was clean and fresh into the ranch house for one reason, George, her health. The water from the wells was destroying her. And the water from Otter Creek was then destroying her. So then we put in a $5,000+ system to actually filter it out. Honestly, we probably have the cleanest water in Otter Creek, but that water is only filtered in the house. George only uses the water that's filtered in the house. I use the water in the camper, and that's not filtered at all. And anytime that turns on, it smells horrible. Just downright horrible. Now I know why. It's the chemicals.
Okay. Well, there's a pump missing here, and
Okay,
that
that's-
tank's not used anymore.
Is that the pump that's not, is going to be repaired?
Yes,
This one?
the one's been repaired already, and they burn up the second one, and then they send it off for repair, and they won't repair it without charging us, and now they sent back the one they repaired, and they've installed it, and now it's burnt out. And if you notice the size of the pipelines coming in the wall, they originally had 3-inch lines coming to the pumps, and it needs that flow of water. We went from a pump here that pumps minimal amount of pressure or suction to a pump that's a high suction pump. And it needs all the flow it can get from the water.
It looks like they went to a 2-inch pipe.
It is. They reduced it down to the 2-inch all the way back outside, supplying the line.
2-inch pipe envy. It's real. It's a thing. Otter Creek, previous former plumbers who think they're still plumbers, who then go in and plumb in pipes because somebody else has a 2-inch pipe, therefore I have to have a 2-inch pipe and then destroy our pumps. 2-inch pipe envy. It's not just psychological, guys. It's a real thing.
Which is, that's one of the questionable things. The other is that you see it's dripping, got some leaks in the lines over here, and outside the lines are leaking and dripping. That this pump is sucking air through all the little drips and leaks because it's got such a high suction. So both of those things are working against the pumps. And then you got
So that could be sucking air and contaminants. I mean,
it's just
particles can be, air particles can be sucked in.
It's just air. It's
Well-
just air. The pipeline's got a few drips and it's sucking. When it drips on natural gravity without pressure, it definitely sucks air when that pump's turned on, sucking it.
So this pump isn't able to be turned on right now. Is that correct?
This pump is not here; it's in the shop.
Right, that's what I'm
That
saying.
one's
This
gone.
entire system is not able to.
And
This
this was all was set up to use to do the pilot program on the treatment. We've had to pull back these old pumps and put them back in here now to operate our system. So right now we're not even using the treated water.
The town of Otter Creek, are you listening? Our water is not being filtered. $100,000 system. Your previous mayor, Russ The Suss, he didn't tell you. He told you nothing. Nothing at all. What he tells you at every town hall meeting, water. Yeah, water. Water's looking good. Water's looking good. That's what you've been told. $100,000 filtering system. Not even being used. Your water isn't being filtered correctly through that system right now because it's broke like the town. All because of him.
So all we're using right now is our old system coming through here and going back out. So that treatment system, the pilot system, has been shut down for almost 2 months now.
So what was that? 600,000 that was spent on that grant, or whatever for the filters and all of that.
There was no grant money for the filters.
Okay, so that wasn't grant money. That came out of pocket.
Right. Well, this actually the pilot program people, the filter company has supplied all that.
So
with no
they
cost.
did it out of pocket.
They put all their expense and supplied to us to do it as a pilot program to see if we can't get our water correct.
And we can't even use it right now.
We can't use it because
Because
our system is malfunctioning.
The pumps were plumbed in incorrectly.
So
Right,
what,
we go outside, I can show you the size of the pipe and we need to change the inside.
did you say yesterday that the pump, I understand there are 2 pumps, but they have malfunctioned 3 times.
A
total of 3 times for 2 pumps.
3 times.
Okay, so, and you also said, if I can remember, I took notes, but everybody was talking so fast. You said that is a problem not by the manufacturer of the pumps.
They are insisting it's the installation.
It's the
malfunction.
installation. So something in here, in this setup, is causing those pumps to blow, according to the manufacturer of the
Well,
pumps.
I've been in the construction business for 40 years, and it is, I don't claim I know all these things, but I always reach out to the people who do know things, and I find out. That's where I get my resources from. And these engineers are telling me, yes, this is the problem, the leakings, the pipelines being reduced, these things are doing it. This pump is elevated too high. It's creating a whirlpool suction out of the tank that is too close to the top of the water height of the tank. So this needs to be lowered down to the level of that so that we get better, because it didn't matter before because the old pumps didn't suck enough water to create a whirlpool or anything. But these new pumps are like 10 times more powerful, maybe more, and of the old pumps. So they're strong enough to create that suction, to create that whirlpool when the water level gets low.
With that 2-inch pipe.
Yes, I'm not the only one in town with a 2-inch pipe anymore. What you're seeing is Zim, that's our new vice mayor, and with a vast amount of construction knowledge and business. You're also seeing a couple, well, it's me and 3 other residents. Okay, so 3 other residents. The entire town was invited for this field trip for full transparency, but there were a total of 4 of us and the vice mayor on this trip, and it was eye-opening. It truly was. And you're gonna get to see and hear some things from the residents as well.
And then there would be more suction
Well, that would
if they
be-
were to
that would-
maintain the 4-inch pipe, which they're saying is required.
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
The pipelines coming through there was just make the water flow more water available
Right.
to the pumps. That's all the 4-inch line thing difference is that.
Okay.
It makes more water available to the pump.
Right.
And and this may not been the problem that blew up the pumps. The problem may be the discharge going to it. When we walk outside, I'll show you how that all right there does.
Okay.
But, you know, the water line comes in, and now it's coming in through here, going out right there, going to the plant 2.
Okay.
Right here, these lines are shut off.
We're at plant 1. We're going to plant 2 next.
This plant, this right now will circulate through here to go to the filter system, and then comes back from the filter system into here, goes to this plant 2. And,
Okay.
that's how that works.
But right now it's not working. And
The
this
filter system's not working.
this is inside this building, but this building is open to outside. All the windows are open and there are holes everywhere.
So they used to store
Does that affect
the chlorine.
This was the chlorine storage.
Well, it was in here, but it was causing all the electrical components to corrode.
Chlorine will do that.
So they replaced all this stuff.
So this all got replaced.
I mean, the
Yes.
guts got replaced.
Yeah. The thing that concerns me is
So is this the main
all I see around Otter Creek is just more garbage and more garbage and more garbage. Yes, ma'am.
This right here is the main well that supplies
Yes,
the water to
that's-
everything in town.
That's the wellhead.
This is the actual well.
Yes.
High flow, variable speed pumps.
That's the main wellhead where we get all of our water. Right there.
You'd think that'd be a bigger pipe. No.
So yeah, so all this,
It's 2 inches, man.
2 inches all it
2 inches is all it takes. Right there.
and all this
2 inch
goes
line.
The old system was
outside
like that, it was just all simple stuff.
Yes.
and down,
And these newer pumps,
And goes through
they're actually
all
more
of that.
and then goes through.
Everybody keeps talking about.
Is that a
trying to-
crate?
It's like a Connex container, and that has the filters in it. That's the project he's talking about.
Instead of building a building, they
This is
put
all
a
new
container
stuff.
in there.
Over there. It's really impressive.
Okay. Well, it's probably better than this building.
First thing I would do, clean everything. Everything. This isn't a workstation. This isn't a workstation. But it's not me. So let's see what's going on. That's the pump. I meant that's the well. Sometimes when you're filming, things just come out of your mouth and you go back and edit and you're like, what did I say? No, the pumps are inside. You see one's missing because it keeps breaking and breaking and breaking and breaking because the plumbing is wrong.
Okay, wait. So the water comes out of the well that's in there, goes down into the ground over here,
Yep.
comes all the way over here to this.
Comes over and goes up into that tank over there.
Okay.
It goes through the irrigator at the top, goes into that right there, once that tank removes the iron, and then it comes out of there, pumps across into this, and it goes in through all the sand filters and the filter system that's, you know, the old stuff.
Sand filters right
This stuff
here.
was all this whole system was put in here in 1964. That's how long ago this, or I think it actually took effect in 67. And then that water comes out of there. It goes. This is a backwash line, but that is it comes out of this and goes into the tank here, and it comes out of this. Yes, and it comes out of that tank, goes
And
in
then
here,
goes back in.
and that's what feeds everything. And you can see here the 3-inch line coming across right there, and you can see where they reduced it to the 2-inch to go to the new pumps, and you can see the height difference on the new pump.
So 3-inch up, reduced to a 2-inch because they were jealous that I had a 2-inch pipe.
Okay. So this.
That's my biased opinion.
What is
So
this-
that's not
this
been
little-
publicly stated, but
That's just a hatch to get in that tank for repairs, the floats and electrical floats. Now the floats were having a problem too. The floats were some of the issue, you know, because the floats would let the water pressure, the water tank get this full. So that only give you this much clearance between this and that pipe.
Right.
But now that this pipe is so high, this is the height of that pipe over there. So we only have this much water reservoir above that before it creates a vacuum suction. See?
And that's where it starts sucking air into the pump, and then you destroy pumps.
What is this pipe that just goes to nowhere?
This is just a drain line.
Okay, so that's just a,
This just drains that tank out, so when you go inside for maintenance, you get it.
okay, so this is how you would drain the excess water. Does this have a lock on it?
The gate does, I'm sure.
Well, you can jump the gate.
It's bolted shut. It's
Okay.
bolted shut.
Okay.
And it's got, but this line, these guys here, the new design that we need to do here, according to the engineers that I've talked to, this needs to come out 4-inch here all the way across with a 4-inch line. And we need to come up and go in the wall here to just 2 pumps. Both lines need to come in with 4-inch lines and go into the building at this height, not that height.
Okay.
And that gains us another 10 inches of depth in that tank.
Before you get a vacuum of air. Yeah.
Are these like purge lines? Because this is an empty pipe.
That was the old line, that came in before. It's just an old. No one's ever removed it. But when we do the new tap in it, that all will be removed. Because if you see, this is leaking here, it's leaking
Yeah.
there, it's leaking there.
Well, yeah,
That's more spaces for air.
My question is, if you opened this, if somebody came in here, not that they would, but if somebody came in here and opened this particular one, what would happen? Wouldn't that suck more air in? Because it's
Well,
lower, but it's still
yes,
being pumped up, so it would
could.
have to come out.
It could. I mean, that's a possibility. That's not likely, but it's a possibility. And the tank is, it also would drain the tank.
I'm just saying, I would like my water to be secure.
Well, it is secure. The premises are secure.
It just makes me nervous.
And if you'll notice one thing here,
Treated water outlet.
that
Air
hose bin is
gap
left
drain.
on there as a hose to connect to that. That's illegal according to DEP.
What's the cup?
Who
for?
installed it?
They told me that Russell Meeks installed all the system.
What's the
all
styrofoam
the
cup
plumbing.
for?
I would
It's just for testing.
test in the water,
Okay.
Sample, yes.
get a sample.
Yeah,
A sample for what?
just water sample, the stuff you drink. It's just
Out of a styrofoam cup that's sitting outside?
Here, let me show you.
It's just so we can get an idea what the water looks like when we're looking at it.
Okay, you just want to see what it looks like, and you're not testing it.
Right. Just trying to see the things.
Well,
The
it's not
system-
going to
the
work
system's not on.
because
Oh, that's right.
It's
We're
not
not
gonna-
actually filtering our water right now in Otter
No,
Creek.
no.
So then you would put the cup here, you get visual, and
Right.
so that's what.
but
the
you're
cup
just
is.
This
it's
needs
a
to be-
it's
You're
a
not drinking it.
visual
This
it's
needs
a
to be cut
visual
off right here.
test,
We need to cut that off so you can't hook a water hose to it.
not a
Then-
chemical
then it
test.
makes it legal.
So you can see right there, treated water outlet. And then Zim saying this is illegal. You can't have a water hose hookup.
Yeah, and then it says
Air gap, drain line, inlet.
Everything we just looked at the outside of this big shipping crate, it's not being utilized right now. It's a $100,000 filtering system that a company came in and said, hey, let's test it out on Otter Creek. We'll let you be our pilot program, and therefore you won't have to pay for anything. And once we get it all dialed in and it's going right, we'll sell it. I don't know how I feel about being a test pilot program on drinking water, but I am thankful that there are companies that help out towns that can't afford it. But at this point in time, it's not being utilized anyway. I don't think the residents understand this. It's not being used. I'm about to go inside with everybody else. Keep in mind everything we're about to see. If you've got a swimming pool, this is basically a little bit more complex, but it's a giant swimming pool filter. Now, I once had a building project. I built a swimming pool the size of a football field.
And this is the incredibility, absolutely incredibility. I made that word up because I do those things. Of this pool, there's activity everywhere. Look, we've got blockades over there. This is, you name it, and this pool, it can happen. And every experience is a brand new experience. Absolutely amazing. I love it.
My system was actually more complicated than the water system here in Otter Creek. In all reality, I was running a self-contained city. We called it a camp and conference center that could handle up to 1,000 people at a time. We were our everything from food service to our water treatment. You name it, we did it. Everything in Otter Creek is such a smaller scale to anything else I've done in my life. But everything you're about to see, it's not even being used right now.
The inside of this guy.
All right, let's see it.
And this is the new stuff here.
This is all. What are you thinking so far, Doug?
I'm a looking.
I mean, this is a nice building
all
or a
of this-
nice containing
This is all
containment
supplied by.
facility.
This is all supplied by.
Yeah, this
Filter
is-
company supplied all of this
This
at
is
cost.
at least the 20th century.
Not exactly straight on the concrete pad.
Back pressure relief valve right here. So when the system comes on, it's under pressure, and when it turns off, all that back pressure designs to go in this basket, go in the drain, and drains out. But now, it just, when it turns off, the system is just, it blows water, soaks the whole place. Because there's too much pressure in the lines, when it releases, the basket can't control it. That's what
That's why the duct tape, because of the mass amount of pressure.
Well, this is the problem that the engineers think is the biggest problem of it, is that the pumps are running full time over here. Pressure in this system goes through all this and comes in here. It's creating such head pressure on the pumps, like 95 or 100 pound PSI. Everything's only designed to run on 50, 60 PSI. And that high head pressure is what causes this to blow out when it turns off. And we need a bladder tank, kind of like your house well would have, a bladder tank, and your pump comes on, fills it up with pressure, and it turns itself off. Right, yeah, basically it's a
Same thing back to the toilet, right?
No,
No, we don't have those things that make it shut off?
nothing like this.
I wasn't saying it was a toilet, I was just saying that.
There's nothing compared to the toilet, how it works. This works like a well. This is what it would be, it would work like a well. When the pressure, we have to have a control valve on here that opens up and closes to operate the water. When we need water, like now, it flips on those pumps and it starts just pumping water and going through all this. But it needs to go to the pressure valve over here that opens when the demand comes for water over there. It opens that valve, so that's the pressure come through, and now the pressure drops down, the pumps will come on, and then the pumps will fill up the pressure to a certain point, and it just stops. And then now the pumps get a break. They're not running 90 PSI, they're only running 60 PSI. And then when the pressure drops back down, the pumps kick on, brings it back up. That way the pumps are working like your pumps are designed to. They're not designed to sit there and work like a mule hours on end like that. I mean, they can as long as the head pressure doesn't get too high. But if the head pressure is so high, it puts too much back pressure on the pumps. And that's what the engineers is thinking is blowing up the motors more than the supply. But we can't take that chance. We need to fix the supply to what they're saying it needs to be. We need to fix the discharge to here to what we're saying it needs to be. That way it all meets, it works, functions flawlessly. This system will be under the same pressure all the time instead of up so high and back down. When this guy would work correctly.
So is this the piece that Richard was saying blew up the other day? Because it was made of,
This
it was made of plastic?
Well, no, that's not here.
That's not this?
That's a pump too.
Okay, that's a,
This is just a catch aerated basket so that when it releases here, the water can go in the basket and drain out, but it has airflow so it will drain correctly. But the back pressure is so high, it hits it, it's like, and it just floods everything because the pressure is so intense when it comes out.
so it floods here, is what you're saying?
It sprays all over, it wets everything.
Right.
It wets everything.
And but it's not working right now, but this
So
is
this is a correct valve.
running.
Hey, I gotta go.
This is running
No, this is off, and it's been offline for 2 months.
What's the sound? Oh, the sound is just that fan?
It's just the fan just
Okay.
keeping, controlling the temperature and the heat.
Okay.
Because it's hot in Florida.
It is
Well,
Florida
this is
outside.
a tuna can in the sun. So
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so what we're hearing is just the fan, it's not the pumps. And then-
Trying to keep it, maintain the control panel.
So when the water, where does the water come into this building?
So just to summarize that for you, we have over $100,000 in filters and supplies and everything in there. And when Russell was going into the board meetings, Russell was telling her, "Oh, everything's working. It's so good right now. Water update. Water good. Oh, it's good." We haven't been up and running because of all the wrong things. We're not even filtering our water right now with the new system, which is mind-boggling, mind-blowing. Transparency. I mean, again, I can't say this enough. The new mayor being transparent with the people, and you're seeing the new council members being transparent with the people and actually truly letting you know what's happening. We have water that's not being appropriately filtered right now. That's not okay. This is the fan outlet, and this is what you would call the drainage, the sewage. So here's what we're doing. Just a matter of 50 feet, maybe less over there, we're pumping water out of the ground, okay? We're pumping our water that we're supposed to be drinking out of the ground right over there. And then it's backwashing into here. You see this mound, this old catch basin. Now, some of you should be thinking already, wouldn't that be an issue if you're trying to get fresh water, you're pumping it, and then you're dumping all the garbage back into it 50 feet away? Yeah, huge issue. Like, mind-boggling, huge issue. We should not be discharging anywhere near our drinking water, anywhere near it. Like, this is beyond common sense. You don't eat where you poo, and we're pooing and we're drinking. Foolishness, complete and total foolishness.
I've lived here my whole entire life. I'm 28 now.
Do you think that the Otter Creek water is safe?
Nope. We believe it actually killed one of our dogs.
Wow.
He had a tumor, and even the vet said it was probably because of our water.
Do you think anything's happened to you or any of the other residents because of the Otter Creek water?
The only thing that we believe has happened to a lot of us is our teeth. It's decayed most of all of them.
Wow,
And
okay.
I hate it.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you mentioned your teeth. So what would you like to have done with your teeth if you were able to get those fixed? What would be something you'd like to see done?
Well, I've always thought of like the implants. They always seem to be a little bit better to me.
Mm-hmm.
But anything right now, and we would have gotten them done sooner, but our dentist that we were going to had retired. So
Okay.
it was hard for me to find another one.
Mimi doesn't know this yet. None of the Osteen family does. And they are precious, precious people here in Otter Creek. I have asked my dentist to actually fly down at my expense and offer services to all the people of Otter Creek because of the damages that potentially could come from the water. And thus far, she's not been able to commit, although she has told me that she has a connection of a mobile dentistry unit that could come to the town. And I'm seeking to do that, particularly for Mimi and for the people of the town. Now, where I hesitate is because if I can't follow through on this, some people may hesitate to go ahead and take care of their dental needs. And I want to clarify, if you live in Otter Creek, don't hesitate. There are things that I'm always working on, and there are things that do happen and things that don't happen. But one of the things that I'm truly trying to make happen this upcoming fall and this upcoming winter is to try and bring in dental services for the people of Otter Creek because of the damage that's been done. Now, that damage could have been done from drinking the water. That damage could be done because the water is bad, and therefore, such as myself, I drink Mountain Dew, which is not good for my teeth either. Regardless, damage has been done. I'm trying to help correct the problem. I just can't promise it yet. I'm working on it.
It's just our water, it's horrible. I mean, most of the time, I boiled water the other night and it left a skim across the top of it. And it's so yellow, we don't even give it to our dogs anymore.
Wow.
It's that bad. And it's always smelling like chlorine and other chemicals.
Another chemical cabinet right in here. Let's see, what do we have? We got sulfuric acid right there, I think. Sulfuric acid. Yep. And over there as well. Two being pumped. What's that? Not sure what that is. This is just the first location. The second location is bigger. Quite frankly, way more impressive.
The chemicals that you just said.
Sulfuric acid.
All the chemicals, all the backwash from the filter system gets dumped into that retaining pond.
They're right there.
Yep,
And the wellhead.
The wellhead is right here. It's 50 feet away. And the backup well is 10 feet away.
We have a backup well over there? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know there was a backup well.
Yes,
Some people's minds are blown right now.
Yeah, it's overflow.
Like, how in the world can you be dumping the backflow right next to your water source?
What is in the corner?
So,
What's that one?
concerning?
That's just the water line going out to this.
Mm-hmm.
To the
You think that's what's happening with my teeth?
Here's our spigot water.
This facility has been phase one of that very, very, very large grant for water. So this is going to be interesting. Will I be prosecuted?
Not today.
Will Russell be prosecuted?
Not today. If he was here with us, he has the right to go in there.
So if he was, yes, he would have the right. The public has the right.
He's a council member. He has the
Yes.
right to come
Yep.
in.
Yep.
So, we're not going to do the way he done it
To
certain
others.
people out because he wants control,
Yep.
and then you see what his control leads to, and that's the reason why I stepped down in the past was because, okay, you're going to control us and you're going to keep all these things, everybody locked out, under the advice of Don, is where I got this advice from. He says, look, you just step back and he's going to go too far and he's going to blow it, just like he's done every other time he's been in the office. That's exactly what I done. I stepped back and Russell went too far and he blew it, all these things, and that's what's going on there.
And now we're all stepping back and watching Don blow it. Just mind blowing. And Don's still not here with us. Mind blowing.
It sounds to me that if it weren't for the people coming in with their grant wanting to help this town get their water better, none of this would have come up because they brought their professional opinions in to help them make their water better, and it showed the places that the water had an issue, and now they're forced to fix it. And I think that Russell, in my opinion, Russell doesn't want to admit he may have been wrong about how he put things together. This is a big tank.
This is the supply line coming from the other plant, coming here. This is what supplies our storage tank now currently. The new grant that we're applying for is to add another one of these tanks right over here, so we have two storage tanks. So we'll have enough volume to to operate fire trucks or something. Right now we don't have. Right now, if we hook up the fire trucks to the fire hydrant system, these pumps come on and start pumping it. Those pumps in there will drain this tank in 10 minutes. The town will be out of water, and now we got to wait on this thing to fill back up to a certain level before the town gets water again. And right now, it takes days for that pump system over there, the old system, well, even the filter system, it takes days for this to fill this tank back up. So it's not like a
So
instant response.
we would not just be out of water for hours, we'd be out of water for days.
We could, well, no, it's just about 18 hours and you'll
Okay.
start getting water. But you know, it's going to be trickled in, and it's going to be. We're going to have to do a boil water effect and all kinds.
But it takes days for this to fill back up. Then.
Yeah, it'll take a couple days to fill this back up to full capacity.
Wow.
I did look up when I saw this in the picture, because this is one of the pictures of Otter Creek, and it has that tank and the name of the tank, and I looked up the name of the tank, and the company that supplies this tank, they're really good tanks from what I could read online. So it's not like they've got shoddy equipment. Shoddy equipment's not coming in here, it's just how it's being used.
This system came in when they redid the water main. They put this system in then.
Yeah, anybody can look up the company that provided that pipe, or provided that tank.
If you remember correctly, if this was the tank, what Russell said they was gonna cut a hole in the top, but he get in there to clean it.
Yeah.
That's that tank over there.
That one or this one?
That one. See the blue ends on it?
Yeah.
The old tank didn't meet the new requirements. The manholes were too small.
Okay, I thought he was talking about
That's-
this. Here, and I'm like, no, you
all-
can't even cut on that one.
This is all this is all up to date on all that stuff, but that one was not. So we had to port those out and get the new portholes in so we can get in and update the tank so it meets the DEP
So what's that tank for?
That's the high pressure line that supplies the water to the water mains.
Okay,
So you know, this stores it, comes in through here and goes through the pump system.
but it needs the pressure.
Right, well, it goes into here and it gets pressurized there, and that pressure is, you know, 55, 57 pound PSI, and that's what supplies all the water main and the fire hydrants and everything else.
So the other plant's the treatment plant, this was the transportation,
Okay,
moving the clean water.
that's a perfect way to say it.
So when the new line comes from Johnson, we'll bypass that one.
This is where you take a shower.
Right to here.
If you get sulfuric acid on you,
This will stay in place.
there you go, right there. I'll show you how it
This is
works.
part of the grant.
You just push there, boom.
Whole building. This whole
Or
building and everything in it.
you go, oh, well, I just got myself soaking wet. Just leave it to me. Okay. I'm missing, oh yeah. That's the one?
That's the plastic he was talking about.
Now, they put it back on with pan straps,
Zip ties.
zip ties. That's how they reinstalled it, because it was broken. And this is supposed to be a life-saving device.
So we're standing in here without
Well,
the
this pump is turned off.
Okay.
Where you're standing, you're in between those two drive shafts, and those pumps aren't on.
You mean I'm the one in danger right now? I'm in danger.
Paint right here.
Doug, you were supposed to have my back.
So this guy is, now when you turn it on, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but you turn it on, it's like boom, big hard noise.
It's a real hard
hit noise. Is there something in the motor or in the pump? You know, we thought maybe in the dry shaft, but that's tight. That thing's not loose, not giving, it's still lined up. It's, so it's, you know, we got the professional coming to look at it and tell us, you know, try to diagnose it. Is it the pump, is it the motor, or what it is? Or, you know,
And that's what he was trying to explain to Don last night, is that we're trying to get the experts to come and tell us what's wrong with it.
Right.
They identify the problem, and then the experts will say, okay, here's your problem.
here's the answer.
But Don doesn't listen.
Yeah, it's like,
So these
my
pumps,
car's making a sound, you take it to a mechanic, the mechanic tells you what the sound is.
they gotta come through.
Yeah, the mechanic has to.
These are three control switches for the three different motors. This one's turned off, which is the number one. So we had so all these motors work in links and they rotate. You know, one comes on this time, second time two comes on, the third time the third one comes on. If the demand requires the second one to come on, it automatically goes to the next one in line. It comes on, it brings its pressures back up to where it belongs, and then it drops back off and it cycles back over again, starts cycling. That way all the motors get equal wear. But that one's definitely, you know, got something of an issue. And how these work, these guys, you remember I was explaining to you the pressure switches and stuff? Remember how the tank will come on and off with the pumps? That's how these come. These all come on that way. These guys here are the pressure valves. The first one, you know, when it gets down below, you know, the minimum PSI, it kicks on pump number one. And if it, you know, the draw of water is faster than that thing's producing, you know, the second valve will come on because it's dropped down 5 pounds below that. So it'll kick on the second one. And you know, if a fire hydrant's going, it's going to drop. The pressure's going to drop, so all three of them will come on, so now all three motors will run on. And these three motors are capable of pumping that tank dry in 10 minutes.
Okay, so you just brought up the fire hydrant. So without this pump working, and you're saying that the fire hydrant would pull the draw, which I'm sure nobody cares if they can't drink water out of their sink while the fire is going on, is it affecting the water coming out of the hydrants? I mean, not speaking of having to unlock them or anything. I'm just speaking of when the fire department gets here and hooks up to those fire hydrants, are they going to have sufficient pressure to put the fires out if if this isn't all working correctly?
Yes, one pump is sufficient by itself. The second one is.
So these are redundancies that
That's
are
right.
put in
And
place.
the second system is so that if it does heat in extreme, the second motor will come on. Even when they open the fire hydrants up, the system, the fire department tries to control how much they're taking because they know we got limited source of water. They don't want to run out of either, so they just strategically use it. But when you're trying to save lives, it's hard to be strategic when you're going and trying to save lives. So none of this will fail until the tank runs so low that it shuts everything off.
Okay.
And everything's down until the system over there comes on, and it takes almost 15 minutes for the first gallon of water to come out of the filter system from time the well cuts on to go through the filter system, get through the pump system, and it starts pumping. Now the water level drops below the float, and it turns off. So it repeats this every few minutes until it gets enough water to maintain it, and it can't keep water, so that system's on and off every couple of minutes.
That burns pumps out.
Until this tank gets full enough to turn it off. Because this tank sends the demand for that one to come on. And so to satisfy the demand, that system just keeps coming on and off until there's enough water. On a day-to-day basis, it runs fine. When you drain that tank down, it strains that system.
During an emergency like a fire, that would potentially strain the system.
Well, not this system, but the supply.
The supply.
The supply. That's why we got to get away from that over there. That's why we need to be over here you'll have these two supply storage tanks, clean water, and then you'll have the two, we'll have a storage tank here for raw water as well.
So this is where Bronson would come through, this building.
The Bronson water will come to
This building, and that building would just be basically for return water.
It would be to return
Septic?
the backwash.
Backwash.
All our backwash stuff, because when we move our treatment over here, all this backwash will get pumped back to that same retention pond. Because now we get our wells moved over here, now we're in all full compliance with all the rules.
Right. So Bronson is truly what needs to happen.
Truly does. And that eliminates all of that plan.
This is the same thing that Chiefland wanted to do back in the day. I wasn't here then. But was this the same concept?
Yes, the same
Was
concept.
this building available when that offer was made?
No,
Okay.
it was not. It was all gonna go into over there.
Okay.
The problem, the difference would have been, if we would have got it then, is the backwash still would have been right there, but our water supply would have been coming from Chiefland, so we still got the space from our discharge from our backwash.
Right.
That's the goal to get to. And we've got 40, 55 years, 56 years of backwash going to that same.
Right into our drinking water. Right into our drinking water.
But
And you've been here 30 years, right?
Yep.
How does that make you feel?
Drink bottled water.
That's the panel we're talking about that got burned by lightning.
Oh, this is the lightning strike that was talked about in the board meeting. That Mary hasn't sent the insurance company what they need. It's money waiting for the town to claim it.
That was located over the other one.
That was wow. Wow.
on a positive note, we know the direction that this can go, and now we have that are going in that direction.
What?
Wah, 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 wah.
You see that right there? That's the electrical meter that runs that pump you just heard. And the bill hasn't been paid because Russ The Suss has not given the accounts over to the new mayor. And this means at any moment in time, regardless of everything that's broken in these two places, we could have nothing in regards to water at any moment anytime because the electric hasn't been paid.